Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. This is Dr. T, PhD, the prodigy of sports psychology, and I'm excited today because I get to bring on a brand new guest right here on today's show. And before I tell you about her, I'd like to ask everyone out there if you please be so kind as to like this video, leave us a comment, and share it with all of your friends and family out there. Now, for the very first time, I'm bringing all the way from Deptford, New Jersey, Ms. Abigail Stoms, owner of Elevate Deptford Martial Arts, right here to you on GoTarryn TV for an exclusive interview. And she's going to be telling us a little bit about herself. It's my first time to really get to meet her kind of face-to-face in a forum where I get to learn about how she got started. I'm going to ask her some questions about how she jumped into martial arts, what interested her with studying things like Taekwondo, and what she's doing now with her new school up in New Jersey, how she relocated up there, and everything else that she finds rewarding about doing what she does for a living. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I have a feeling that this next half hour is going to fly by real quickly, but we're going to really learn a lot of information here from a new friend, a new guest right here on today's show. So I'm super excited here to meet Ms. Abigail Stoms face-to-face here virtually and bring her to you for the very first time here on GoTarryn TV, and we'll be right back with her in just a few moments. And remember, with GoTarryn Health and Fitness, it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll be right back. That is, yeah, because I always hear about, I don't know how much truth there is, but even when it's not on or not recording, that there's some big brother always watching out for us, right?
I've heard that too, so it's probably a good idea to keep it covered.
Yes, certainly. Well, how are you doing? How have you been?
I've been doing really well, really excited. I'm week 3 into the karate school, so I've been super, super busy, but I'm getting a lot of students, so that's good.
Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. And I'm going to ask you about Elevate Martial Arts,
Sure.
Deptford, and everything else that's going on. But, the first thing I wanted to ask you, since this is our first official time talking on a video blog, kind of for the people watching, can you kind of maybe go into telling a little bit about yourself, how you got into martial arts, how long have you been doing it, and how did you get to this point, kind of taking us through?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I know everyone's journey in martial arts is a little different. Everyone has different goals.
Hmm.
For me, as a kid, I was 5 or 6 years old. I can't remember. I looked at my mom and I said, I'd like to do ballet or karate. And she says, okay, well, we're going to put you in karate. So I got to experience it as a young kid. It was a lot of fun. But then we moved away from the school. So as soon as I was old enough, I got into karate again. I revisited it when I was about 17. So from there, I've been training and learning, and right around 18, a lot of my friends were going off to college. I was trying to figure out if I was going to do art or science as a degree when my instructor came and offered me a job. And I said, okay,
Oh,
sure,
cool.
I'll
Oh,
give this a
wow.
try. Yeah, I was about a green belt. So I said, this is what I'm going to do for my life. This is amazing. But I got back into karate because I was bullied as a kid and I wanted to learn how to defend myself.
That's incredible. What a great story. So now this is home for you where you're at now, correct?
Yes, yes. I grew up in New Jersey around 17, 18. I moved down to Georgia and I was down there for, gosh, 20, 22 years, I think. But it
Mhm.
was a good time to get connected with a lot of martial arts people down there. So now, even though I'm up in Jersey, I have a lot of friends in the martial arts industry down there that are wanting to connect and come up and visit and train at my school and be a guest instructor. So those are the lifelong bonds that you've made, and it's amazing to have that kind of fellowship.
No, that's terrific. And so when you first came to Atlanta, then was it Karate Atlanta that you hooked up with, or was it a different
Nope.
school?
It was a different school. I
Hmm.
hooked up with Karate World, and I think, I want to say maybe 6 months, 8 months in, and they offered me a job, and that's when I got hooked. And I realized that there was only so much room for advancement within that school, and
Hmm.
that's when I connected with Karate Atlanta, and
Oh, okay.
tested for black belt, moved up through the ranks, and just I
Wow.
loved it. It was really, really good training. So I'm excited that I had my time, 20 years with Karate Atlanta. I
Oh,
got to
that's
my skills.
yeah, that's amazing. And what would you say that you found most rewarding, most happy, your best times with Karate Atlanta overall? I know that's probably a real hard question to put you on the spot, but what comes to mind
Yes.
first?
Um, Honestly, I would say it's those moments where I know a child is super shy and not confident, and I know after working with me after a few classes that their confidence is back,
Hmm.
or the child that I know is being bullied. Like I can tell when a child or an adult walks in the door, what their mood is and why they're there. And a lot
Hmm.
of times, I have females come in that I know are in bad situations that want to learn self-defense, and then after a month, they're coming to me saying, "I stood up for myself," and all these like little victories, things where people have overcome their insecurities, whatever they might be, knowing that I had a part in that journey and helping them grow, that just brings so much joy to me to know that I did that.
Yeah, it sounds like so, especially working with the young ones, like you said, the
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
Yeah, because I guess you could relate to that, like you mentioned a few minutes ago about being bullied too. And
Yes.
for, I guess, for people that don't know about martial arts or haven't done it or maybe thinking about it, what can you say in terms of building self-confidence and for people who are kind of, shy or just meek and wanting to build that kind of self-esteem? How fundamental would you say martial arts is in helping improve that?
I would say it from two different perspectives. One for a child when
Hmm.
they are building their confidence. One thing
Hmm.
that happens is when they get targeted by a bully, the bully is targeting them because they have a lack of self confidence. So it's almost
Mm-hmm.
like a preemptive strike if a parent can put their child into a martial arts program
Hmm.
before there's even any evidence of bullying, because there's
Yeah.
a higher success rate of not being targeted simply by walking with your shoulders back, eyes up,
Huh.
with confidence. And
Wow.
there's also more confidence to stand up for yourself when someone treats you incorrectly or poorly, to stand up and speak up for yourself when you have that confidence. So, from a child's perspective, even if they are being bullied, you can turn around and undo some of that damage to their confidence just by putting them in martial arts. So that's
Hmm.
my from the child's perspective. As an adult, it is so difficult for adult students to come in and just be comfortable being a white belt in something. Because as we grow older, we're used to being, I call it the masters of our own universe,
Huh.
where we have control over just about everything we do. It's
That's a good
very
point.
uncomfortable to take a first step in something new. Well, you know, with the
Hmm.
fitness industry as well, you have someone come
Yeah.
to you that's like, I don't know what to do, and it was a big step for them to even come to you. So same thing in martial arts with adults is they have to feel comfortable with being a white belt. If they can just get through that, then the growth is amazing. They just have to kind of get out of their own comfort zone.
That's really interesting. And I was going to tell you, Miss Stoms, that a few years ago I talked to a person who worked for a company called Premier Martial Arts of Atlanta. I guess they're another company in Buckhead
I
where I
know them.
work at. Oh, okay. Well, there was a gentleman who his name's Larry, and he said something I thought was really profound to me when I first met him. And I think he had like maybe two sons, but he told me, he said, the two most important things that every child, he doesn't care who they are, should do for their, like in terms of, if you're going to sign your kids up for sports, athletics, art, what have you, he said, but the two fundamental, most basic things, he said, was both swimming and martial arts. And I asked him, I was like, why those two? He said, because those are the two that build survival skills. He said, if your kid was dropped in the middle of a desert or an ocean or what have you, and he had to survive, then
Hmm.
he would need to know how to swim and he would need to know how to defend himself. And I said, that's
Yes.
pretty interesting. And so I remember when he said that to me, it was pretty impactful. And I do see the value of martial arts, but I know that, yeah, go ahead, please. What were you going to say?
Just, I guess when it comes to learning anything new, that's
Uh-huh.
the difficult part. Is
Yeah.
even with
Yeah.
children when they first come in and they're so
Hmm.
scared, they have no idea what the karate lesson's going to be because of
Right.
Hollywood and how we've seen things be projected about martial arts. So I'm very happy when I have someone come in that's shy because I know I can help them cross that barrier of insecurity, whether they're a child or an adult. And I love teaching
Hmm.
students too.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. My favorite movie growing up as a child was The Karate Kid. And I
Hmm.
just thought that was amazing. And watching that, I just think that, it's really cool for kids to be able to participate in something like that and have fun. And I wanted to, I guess, shift now to talking about Elevate Deptford. So, kind of maybe talk us through a timeline here. How did it develop? How did you create Elevate Deptford? And how did we get to the point where you're at now and 3 weeks in where you've opened up the school?
Yes, it's been a really weird, crazy, bumpy road getting here. I guess I could say that to anyone trying to start their own business. It's never going to go according as planned, for
Of
sure.
course. Yeah,
Um,
you're right.
I love my students down in Georgia, and I miss them dearly to this day. And I still try to come down and visit and see them because they're like family to me. And that's how my
Yeah.
students feel to me. So
Oh,
when I
yeah.
moved up here to Jersey, I moved up here for family so my mom could get some help because she
Mm,
wasn't doing so well.
mm,
And by being with family, they were going to be able to take care of her. And I had no idea what I was going to do up here, but I knew I had to move up here. And then when I got up here, I had a friend of mine contact me and said, "Are you going to get back into martial arts?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe. I'm thinking about it." So I reached out to a couple different people that I knew ran their own martial arts school, and I found someone that I felt comfortable partnering with. And we kind of just vibe and have the same goals when it comes to martial arts. So we started discussing opening up a school here. And probably 6 months later, we had something going. So I was really excited to have that opportunity. And I'm really, really happy to be partnered with Elevate because it's such a good martial arts and the way that they teach people that
mm-hmm,
well, with the Krav Maga too, that's awesome
mm-hmm,
having
mm-hmm.
that available to teach. So yeah, I'd say it's been an interesting journey, bumpy, but I'm really happy I've gotten to where I'm 3 weeks in and having at least, I'd say maybe 25 students on program. So that's awesome.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
tremendous. Congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
too. Oh my God, that's exciting. So again, there's with anybody who's watching, and if they were to try martial arts, you've talked about how martial arts are important for kids and for adults. Is martial arts, would you say, open then in that presumption to everybody? Is there anybody that's exempt that shouldn't be looking into it, or who do you welcome in terms of that should be looking into it?
And that
For example, senior citizens, for example.
Right, right. No, that's a good question because a lot of people think, well, I would do it, or I would
Hmm.
love to, but I can't, insert whatever you'd want to say. But really, martial arts is for everybody. I had plenty of students come to me that said, I'm not a natural athlete. I'm not in shape. I can't do it. And I said, well,
Uh
that's
huh.
exactly why you should do it. Um, we're not expecting someone to be in peak physical form when they start their martial arts journey. So if someone comes to me and they're really overweight, I said, fantastic, you're going to lose weight. If I have someone that says, well, I'm not strong enough, I said, fantastic, you're going to get strong. If I have someone that says I'm too young or too old, I said, there's never a wrong time to start your martial arts journey. I have a student right now that's 55 years old, starting as a white belt, and I
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
love teaching him. I have another student that is really overweight, and he's already starting to see some changes in his weight, his
Oh, that's
muscles,
great.
everything. Yeah, it's fantastic. So I would say it's for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then I guess you could customize it too, so to speak,
Mhm.
with whatever groups that you're working with.
Exactly. In
Mm.
our field, we call it wearing many hats because you have to kind of change your personality depending on who you're interacting with. Like, obviously, I'm not going to teach a 3-year-old like I would a 55-year-old. So you have to have the high energy and bubbly for the little kids, which I enjoy and love. And then for the adults, you have to have a more serious approach. So, yes, you tweak it to whatever group you're teaching to, but then you also have to keep in mind the children that are coming in that might be autistic or special needs or something like that. So if I have someone come to me and say, "Well, my child is autistic, can they even do martial arts?" And then I'd say, "Absolutely, 100% they can." In fact, that I already have two at my school that are autistic, and they are loving the program. So I love teaching the students that people think are unreachable. I really love helping the kids that think that, oh, I can't do it, and then I show them, well, actually, yes, you can.
Yeah, that's so great. And it's kind of new for me in terms of from my perspective as a customer of seeing. But as far as the tournaments go, what do those look like up there with Elevate? Because I'm not familiar, but for example, are there upcoming tournaments ongoing? How frequent, and if so, where? I guess all of
Good
that.
question. I'm actually trying to figure that out myself, being in New Jersey and a new
Hmm.
branch of martial arts up here.
Hmm.
I'm connecting with a couple of schools in the area that would like to do a tournament at my school. And I
Oh,
said, yeah,
cool.
that would be fantastic. Let's do an
Oh,
inter-school. So
oh,
I'll
that's
probably wait
great.
a little while before I have a tournament just because I want to get my students trained up.
Uh-huh.
But it's definitely something that I'm considering doing coming up here soon.
Oh, wow, wow, that's great. How do the color belts work there in terms of, for example, I know you do Krav Maga there, but what
Hmm.
is it Taekwondo? Is it karate? What is one of the other variations or the martial arts forms that they do there at Elevate?
Great question. I've had a lot of people ask me this, like, what do you teach? And I say, a little bit of everything. So the base is Taekwondo. That's where my
Uh-huh.
strength is. That's what I have my black belt in, fifth degree.
Uh-huh.
So that's the base. But I got really into martial arts hardcore in my early 20s. So I did jujitsu. I did, of course, Taekwondo. I did Tang Sudo. I did Kempo, Wing Chun,
Wow.
Jeet Kune Do. I went over everything. I just
Wow.
couldn't get enough. So when I teach it, yes, the official term is Taekwondo, but I can't help but have some of those other styles come in and start to influence what I'm teaching as well. So yes, Taekwondo is the official answer.
Oh, wow. No, that's great. So they obviously then the color belt system then is that pretty much standard or universal how that works with the
That
rankings?
In my time in martial arts, I've seen many, many different types of belt systems all over the
Okay.
place. Really,
Okay.
what it just represents is acquisition of knowledge. So, if one person has, say, maybe a yellow belt in one program, but maybe a purple belt in another, it doesn't necessarily mean one's higher than the other. It just
Right.
means that the instructor gave them, okay, you're on this path and you've acquired this skill set, so you've now earned this belt. So really,
Ah.
when someone calls me and says, I've done martial arts before, my first question was, how long ago was it? How long did you train? And how often did you train? Because every martial artist is different.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, Ms. Stoms, when did you first get your black belt degree? I have to ask that.
Oh, okay. You're making me think. I think I was 21 when I got my first degree. I
Oh,
could be
cool.
wrong on the year. It kind of blurs together, but
Sure.
yes.
Yeah. And what boggles my mind is every time, you said your fifth degree, and it's just, I can't even comprehend thinking about remembering all those different movements and, in sequence and the memory of being able to do all of those. For example, watching my kids in their, right now, they camo or green belt where they're
Yes.
at in Karate Atlanta. And I think the little one, the tiger, has to do about something like 7 moves. And I think the junior has to do something like, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 moves. And, Mr. Siegel, of course, is working with them. They're getting ready for a tournament. And he said that for his degree, I think, I can't remember if it's third or fourth degree black belt, but he said he has about 87 moves. And it just like, that just blew
Correct.
my mind. I just couldn't believe that. I was like, that's crazy. I mean, how's
There's
that even possible?
There's a lot of moves, and the good thing is as you start to learn something, you start to have recognition. So
Okay.
just like with your personal training, you know how you have the muscle memory start to build up.
Sure. Good analogy. Yeah. Yeah.
So same thing with martial arts. You start to get comfortable. You start to have that muscle memory kick in, and you do not have to have an amazing memory to be a martial artist for
Oh,
sure.
good.
Because
No,
I do
that's
not
helpful.
by any means. There's three different types of learners. You have audio, you have visual, and then you have kinesthetic. I am very,
Yes.
very much kinesthetic, meaning
Yes.
you can
Yes.
show me, and I have to do it a couple times, and then you have to show
Right.
me again. And I
That's
think
how I
that's why
am.
I enjoy teaching because I have people come to me that are just like me that
Uh-huh.
go, I suck at learning. I said, no, you just haven't been taught in the way that your brain likes to process information.
That makes sense.
And that's totally
Yeah.
fine. We all learn differently. So when I teach, I make sure I'm doing audio and then I'm also demonstrating, but then sometimes I just need to touch an arm or touch a foot where it needs to be and it clicks and it makes sense to them. So yeah, I would say there's no learning style, there's no personality type that's wrong for martial arts because we all develop differently.
And that's what very well said. The other thing that comes to my mind that is really interesting when I watch it from my perspective and my viewpoint is watching how you as instructors can do the mirror image of what you want your students to do. Because
Yes.
for me, it just, wow, I'm like, gosh, not only are they having to teach them, they have to teach them reverse, like of everything they're doing so that, they can follow
Yes.
along. And I know you do it that way for the kids. Is that also done the way for adults too, I assume?
Actually, yeah, it's pretty common for
Hmm.
adults. As
Okay.
we get older, our neuroplasticity starts to reduce, and we have to really work hard to acquire new information, new knowledge. It's a lot
Uh-huh.
easier to teach a child than it is an adult. Sorry,
Ah,
adults, it's true, but you want to try to bridge that gap and reach your student the best way that you can. So I appreciate you recognizing that we have to flip and
oh,
teach the curriculum
Oh
backwards
yeah.
almost,
Yeah.
kind of like with Zoom. But being able to do that is a key part of being a successful instructor because you can't turn your backs on the students. Certainly not 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Don't do it. But yeah, being
Yeah.
able to reverse it in our brain, that's just part of our training. When I first started doing it, it was very difficult. But one of the things about being a martial arts instructor and teaching is that um, people like myself, Mr. Siegel, Mr. Muxo, Mr. Steve, we get on an almost obsessive level on
Hmm.
being able to relay the information we're trying to teach to the children. So you don't see it before the scenes, before the showtime, as we call it. We're up there practicing doing it in reverse. We're practicing and testing each other to make sure that we can do it the way that a student can retain the information.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So it's like double the, it's like almost to me, it's like learning a new language in some
It
regards.
is. Yes, it is. Well, in any stage of learning, you have acquiring your knowledge and then applying your knowledge and then teaching the knowledge. That's your mastery level there. If you can teach someone, then you've really truly acquired the knowledge at a new level. And if you can teach it simply to where it can be understood easily, then you're really becoming a good teacher.
Yeah, no, that's great. And again, I'm so happy to hear that things are going so well. And so with Elevate, what else do you foresee for the rest of the year? I know again we're still kind of in the new beginning of it, but what are some of the short-term goals for the rest of this year, and kind of maybe long-term goals going forward for the next year or 5 years there?
Yes, so short-term goal is we're coming into the holiday season. I want it to be open a lot earlier in the year, but as we
Hmm.
know, things never go according to plan. So I
Right.
opened up and we've got the holidays like right on top of us. So I know
Yes.
now is not a good time to do a grand opening. So I'm going to continue to build up the clientele, and then hopefully January or February we can do a grand opening, and I'm planning on having the mayor come out and do a ribbon cutting ceremony, making
Oh
it a big
wow.
deal.
Oh
I'm really
cool.
excited because I've connected with Habitat for Humanity up here and the local
Very
police
nice.
department.
Oh
So
wow.
my biggest goal, I would say, is getting involved in the community as much as possible. Because especially coming out of our isolated time that we had,
Yes.
people need connection more than anything else right now.
Hmm.
Um, and being able to plug that into the community, help students, and just anyone that might need a little bit of time. I'm wanting to give that back. So like Habitat for Humanity is one for sure. I love
Hmm.
to help them out, and we have Heroes for Hire. That's another one that we're considering partnering up with. So anything I can do to help and give back, that's my jam. That's what I love the most.
Oh wow, wow, that's great. It sounds just incredible. What everything going on up there, and just what y'all are involved in. So you definitely wear a lot of different hats because not only are you
Yes.
doing the instructing and operations and day to day, things that you have to do there, but it's really like big picture items of different categories of bringing in, account development, so to speak, in the business world
Yes.
of bringing in those eyeballs and just brand awareness so everybody finds out.
Mhm.
But you certainly have been doing a remarkable job with marketing on social media and just
Thank you.
brand awareness, yeah, and presence because the website looks phenomenal. It looks very informative, very easy to follow. If there's people that want to sign up, you've pretty much answered all the questions right on there.
Mhm.
And so, I think it's great what you said earlier that you can actually bring in what you've applied with all your other different martial arts and kind of learn, teach that to people learning for the very first time so they could build a good base. And,
Yes.
that's just great. I think that's wonderful. So, with that, do you foresee, I know you said about maybe visiting, coming back to Atlanta sometime.
Mhm.
Are there others in Atlanta, say from, for example, Karate Atlanta or whoever, to come up that you're wanting to come up? You mentioned this about coming to guest instruct sometime in the near future up there.
Yes, yes, I have some instructor friends that would like to come up and
Uh huh.
guest instruct and just show the support. And one of the great things of just kind of going out and opening a new martial arts school is you have friends in the industry that are just so excited and want to cheer on. And those are where
Yeah.
the real connections are. And
Hmm.
I've been so happy with the support that I've seen. I wasn't expecting it,
Oh, that's
but
great.
I've really been shocked with how many people have just called and checked on me and said, "Hey, how are you doing?" Or "Hey, have you taken a mental break today?" Or "What have you done for fun?" Just because when you're owning your own business, you can get really focused on all of the details and all of the work and forget to take that break. So I'm excited to have those friends in my corner saying, yes, we're going to come up and help teach. And yes, I want to make sure you're getting your break.
Oh,
So,
good for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And it
really
sounds like
important.
you're having a good, would you say you have a good network there too, where you're at? I mean, obviously it sounds like it too.
Yes, shockingly, there's a local school in the area that is all supportive of me. He runs a club, and he says, I have enough
Mhm.
students, I don't need any more. Anyone else that comes my way, I'm sending to you. And I said, okay.
Wow. Oh my God. That is generous.
Not
Wow.
what I was expecting at all, at all, at all. So I've had a lot of support in the community here. My brother's lived in Deptford most of his life, so he's actually out and trying to do some business connections for me with people that he's known for a really long time. So I think it was a good move. If I had to move anywhere, I'm glad it was Jersey, and I was really glad it's back to my hometown of Deptford.
It just sounds like from what you described to me that it was just really meant to be, that everything's come together. It couldn't be more perfect, it sounds like.
It's crazy how many things have fallen into place.
Uh-huh.
I think the mathematical improbability of all the things that have happened the way that they have, it's impossible to even calculate how many things have fallen into my favor.
Right.
And
Hmm.
I guess the way I look at it is if you're putting good out, good will come back to you. And I'm definitely trying to put as much good out as I possibly can. And I think that comes back to you for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. No, that it certainly does. I mean, that is wonderful. And you mentioned too about trying to take a break and trying to get some type of mental break away from work. What
Yes.
else do you enjoy out in Deptford or that area?
Mhm.
For example, do you get to New York City? How far are you from there? And what do you
Yes.
like to do for fun?
So one thing I would say 100% mental health needs to be a top priority in your life, no matter what you're doing,
Yeah.
what job you have. If you're not
Hmm.
taking time for yourself to meditate or do your hobbies, you're in the danger zone. So mental health is definitely something that I take very, very important.
Good. Yep.
So one of the cool things about being in Jersey, and I've always loved this, is that it's such a hub for so many cool things to do up here. I
Hmm.
love Atlanta. I love my South. I love getting down into Georgia. But one of the great things about here in Jersey is the beach, which I love, is only 45 minutes away.
Oh, wow.
It's really nice. The boardwalk, everything. New York
Nice.
is an hour and 45 minutes away, and
That's not bad. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
I got up there. I had a friend visit, and many friends want to come up here and take a bite out of the Big Apple. So I'm always happy to
Hmm.
host and have them come up and have some fun. So I went to the Science History Museum up here. I got to see the
Oh,
Hayden
nice.
Planetarium. If you know me, you know I love science, so I geeked out
Hmm.
for.
Oh, nice. Very, very
And then
nice. Wow.
Philadelphia is only 20 minutes away, so there's a lot of
Okay.
history there. And DC is only 3 hours away. So there's a lot of cool places I can go to when I can take that break.
That is so cool. And, I know there's also the distinction of the weather and the temperatures, but I understand it hasn't been too cold up there, though, no, so far?
No, it hasn't. Well, I
Hmm.
love the cold. If it's
Okay.
40 degrees, I probably still have a t-shirt out and I'm
Hmm.
just walking around having a blast. But yeah, the weather has actually been very, very similar to Georgia. I
That's what
actually
I've
spoke to a
heard.
couple of my weather friends in the field, and they've explained it to me that we're just in that type of pattern right now where I could literally open up my weather app and Atlanta and Philadelphia are the same temperature, maybe 1 or 2 degrees off.
Wow. Oh, my
But I'm sure
goodness.
we'll get snow this year.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Wow.
hoping.
Yeah, because up there where you're at, certainly you get more seasons rather than living down here in the South. That's for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Fall, my favorite season just now. Just went over to Cape May and walked a park over there where the trees were just absolutely gorgeous. I love it up here, and with fall being my favorite season, having it for more than a week or two, like in Georgia, has been amazing.
No, that's true. I know it just goes from summer to winter here. That's
It
for sure.
it does, and I hate that.
And being up closer to home now and being at home, would you say that you're happy, especially with the holidays coming around with the Thanksgiving and Christmas, New Year's, and everything
One
else?
100%. That's the great thing is being back up here with family, connecting with my
Hmm.
sister, getting to know my nephews,
Good.
and being around my brother. I think the holidays are going to look a lot better, and I'm very, very happy to be up here with family. That part's really exciting to me. Plus, I have kids I can spoil now. The nephews get all the attention.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. Are you doing any traveling for the rest of the year at all, or what's that going to look like? I mean, I know you're busy with work and all, but are you going out of town, or what's that looking like?
Probably not. Everything pretty local here. I'm not going to be traveling anytime soon. I'm
Mm-hmm.
really trying to get down and do some hiking, hopefully in North Carolina. That seems to be the halfway point where my
Oh,
friends
okay.
from Georgia can come up and then I can
Oh,
come down.
neat. Yeah.
There's some really nice spots in North Carolina I want to go to, but I've got to get the school kind of stable first
Oh,
before I
yeah.
make that trip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
everything sounds like, again, that you've done everything you can to, get the school just about going. And so you're almost at your 1 month celebration point now of opening, though, aren't you?
yep. Going into week 3 right now. I
Mm-hmm.
work Tuesday through Saturday, which is it's different because if you're
Mm-hmm.
familiar with Karate Atlanta, it was Monday through Saturday, and I love that I have 2 days off now. So it's definitely created
Oh,
a
okay.
better work-life balance, and I'm able to
Good.
get into more of my hobbies. Which you had asked me that. I apologize, I didn't answer. A lot of my hobbies are hiking and painting and getting out in nature is the biggest thing.
Uh-huh.
Jamming out on my guitar, like anything I can do to just kind of check out and not think about work. That's definitely what I'm all about.
No, that's important. Yeah, I understand that outlet for sure. That's
Yes.
very, very good. Well, Miss Stoms, 30 minutes has just flown by so quickly. I promise I get
Oh
you out of
yeah.
here in time. But before we let you go, I need to ask this, please. Let's go ahead and plug any contact information you want to put out right now, and anything that you want to let us know, the best ways of reaching you and reach Elevate. Let's go ahead and plug that now before we finish, please.
Absolutely. So elevatedeptford.com is the website. You're more than welcome to go on there and check it out. I also have a Facebook presence too. So if you search Elevate Deptford, you'll be able to see some of the latest posts that I've made as well. I have some videos of the school if anyone's curious on how it's looking. Probably need to do a new one, but it'll show you what the school looks like and how I've kind of laid out the floor design. I think it looks pretty good.
Very cool. I'll have to check that out myself. We'll get that on the screen when we fade to black here so people can check it out. And I'll definitely check
Awesome.
that out as well. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. This was so much fun. And if you're open next month to do another one of these sometime in December, let's please re-collaborate and take a look and see how
Yes,
everything's going then,
I would
too.
love to do that. Follow up. That would be really cool.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you so much. And I'll tell everyone at the school that you said hello. They're
Yes,
getting ready.
please.
Yeah, I'll be seeing them tomorrow. So I'll let them know that we got to do this chat. And again, this is so much fun. I'm so happy to learn more about you and definitely about the school. And I'm excited for you guys. So keep up the great work up there.
Thank you very much. And I'd also like to extend that it would probably be a good idea for me to do an interview for you for my students. If you don't mind, I might have them do a couple Q&As on fitness and maybe ask you some
Cool.
questions that you can answer because I'm not a fitness expert, but it would be
Oh, no,
great to have some of my
yeah.
adult students ask some questions and maybe get some professional answers.
Oh, anytime. Yeah. We could do it like this. We could do it on Zoom, whatever's easiest.
Cool.
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. Definitely. I would love
That
to
would be
do that.
awesome.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time, Ms. Toms. And as
Thank you,
we
sir.
close out, yeah, here comes your contact information right now.